Welcome to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events. Got a lot going on here. First of all, I want to let you know, some of you I'm getting told are having problems viewing the blog with the background. I have a white background and black text, and for some reason that white background isn't showing up for some people. I may just go reset the blog, do a default. You're not going to lose any of the information. Blogger has always had some sort of issue. For a long time, I've even debated whether or not I should look into maybe something a little bit different. But anyway, I'm going to try to fix that problem here before too long. So I thought I'd do a video. We haven't done one of these in a long time. Also, here it is, Monday, October 21st. I'm already hunting down some nice prizes for the Winter Weather Contest, which I may kick off a little early this year, so stay tuned for that. But the big story, what I want to talk to you all about right now, it's the cold air that's coming. And we already had the coldest temperatures so far this season. This past weekend, and we're going to see more waves of cool air, reinforcing shots of cool air all week long, and then maybe, I'm going to show you here with the modeling, something a little stronger by next Tuesday or Wednesday. And when you're dealing with the long term, you know that things are very, very iffy. That's a technical word. It's very difficult in the long range to predict how these things are going to unfold, but NOAA has in their 8 to 14 day outlook, and I showed that on the 10 o'clock news last night, a very good chance for much below average temperatures. And by the time we get to late October, we're talking about the average high being right around 70 and the average low in the upper 40s. So we could be talking about highs in the 50s, low 60s, and lows at night in the 30s. The chance for an early frost or freeze, at least relative to average, does exist this year, and some places have already seen that. So it looks like we have October, the beginning of the month, the first 15 days of the month were well above average, and it looks like the last 15 days will be well below average. And when you look at the month combined, it's just going to be average when you average it out. That's why I hate the words normal. There's no such thing as normal. I've got modeling data here. I'm going to show you the GFS and the European that kind of goes over the whole situation. Lots of data to look at here, and I'll try to go as fast as I can here and try to make the complex understandable. This is the European model. We're looking at 500 millibars. This is last night's run, and I'll try to make this as simple as possible. You see these black lines here? Well, you see a ridge. You see the United States right here. Here's Arkansas. Ridging across western Canada and a downstream trough, all right? Whenever you see a ridge poking up into western Canada or into Alaska, into this area, well, remember that the air is flowing from west to east. And what this does is it dislodges the colder air and sends it southward into this trough, all right? Watch what happens over the next several days. It's persistent. I mean, it changes its shape and its configuration a little bit over time, but the general configuration, this is all the way out to the 26th, Saturday the 26th, and then the 27th. Here's the 28th right here. You can see we're all the way out to the 28th here, bridging across western Canada, troughing across the central and eastern United States. Definitely not a warm pattern. This is a cold pattern where you're getting air dislodged from the Canadian and Alaskan region, and it's moving due south. What happens next week, though, and the models are different on how this unfolds, but they all have the general same idea. There's a piece of energy coming out with a storm system. There'll be a round of rain, and then there could be a blast of colder weather following that shortly before Halloween. Okay, so that's the European. So you get the general idea. This northwesterly wind flow keeps it cold. Air comes in out of Canada. You don't get any system that's able to tap into the Gulf of Mexico moisture, and so it's cut off. Most of these fronts that come through, they're dry. That's the GFS. Let's go with the European here. And I'll try it again. We're looking at the surface. I'm trying to make the complex understandable. You see Arkansas right here, the faint gray arrows kind of showing you where the wind directions are here at the surface. Ignore the red and the blue dashed lines for now, and just pay attention to the black lines. Those are called isobars, lines of equal barometric pressure. We're talking about at the surface, high pressure, low pressure. And remember that air flows clockwise out of the highs and into the lows counterclockwise. and we're going to get a series of fronts coming out of the northwest. You'll get a front, an area of high pressure, a front, an area of high pressure. So you're getting these reinforcing shots of cool air all week long. Let me see if I can kind of pick up on one or two for these here for you. Here, this is very simple here. 18Z on Thursday. So this is Thursday at noon. Here's another area of high pressure coming out of Canada, and it's located in the Dakotas. And so you're getting northerly winds. So another reinforcing shot of cool air according to the European. You see that black closed line. It's labeled 1028. So this is an area of higher pressure, and then lines surrounding it. There it is, Friday morning. It's over portions of Missouri. This is Friday morning. And then it moves towards the east. And then you get a little return flow on the backside of it. Remember that clockwise flow. So you got cold air coming in north, and then on the backside of it, warming. But the warming usually doesn't last all that long. Because then you got another high, and another front, another high coming out of the northwest. And there it is. On Saturday, there's the frontal boundary. This is late Saturday. And so Sunday, yep. There's the next high coming in out of Canada right there. So this just one right after another coming in from Canada with, you get a little bit of warming and then more cold air, a little bit of warming and then more cold air in the Gulf of Mexico. Then none of these systems are able to really tap into the Gulf of Mexico. Now what happens next week, this is the thing I really wanted to show you. Let's go. A more significant wave of low pressure is going to develop. I'm going to go out here to, this is Tuesday, late Tuesday. October the 29th, and here's a fairly significant storm system that's developing here, and a lot of cold air, a stronger area of high pressure. This is able to get a little bit more return flow, a little bit more moisture, and what you're getting here, see these black lines, how they bend southward into Texas and into Oklahoma? What you're getting here is a penetration of cold air, very strong push into the southern plains. Now pay attention to this blue dash line. It's what we refer to a lot this time of the year and into the winter is the 540 line. 540 thickness is what it is. And basically everything along and north of that should be snow. South of it is some sort of ice or just plain old rain. This is just cold rain here. But you're looking at, there's a significant wave of low pressure that develops, moves on off towards the east. And then on the backside of it, cold air funnels in. I know that that's a little complex. Let me see if I can. Okay, the GFS has basically the same thing too. It shows it a little bit differently. But this is on the 29th. You got a lot of rain. There's that area of high pressure, cold air drilling down, low pressure forming here at the surface, and then that should zip along towards the east. Look at that, heavy rains by the middle of next week. That moves away and the cooler air settles in. So again, a dry and cool pattern for the next several days. And the next week, by maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, in that time period, there could be a little bit more in the way of significant rainfall, followed by, again, you're dealing with the long term, so it's very, very debatable as to whether and how this unfolds. But it could be the coldest air so far this season, and NOAA has in that 8 to 14 day time period much below average temperatures from Arkansas towards the north. So stay with us here on the Arkansas Weather Blog. We'll keep you updated here with the latest information on Twitter and Facebook as well. Thank you very much for coming to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events.